What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Glasscast. Today I'm going to be talking about the trade deadline. Super fired up. Just got back from Jersey. It was nice being home. We're back in Tuscaloosa. Beautiful weather today. It was 75 degrees, but it gets dark. It gets dark and cold pretty early. So today we're going to be talking about the trade deadline. Super crazy, honestly. Jets are the number one team involved in all these trades. Obviously, it was a fun, quick day for the trades. And we're going to jump into it right now. Sauce Gardner, first guy we're going to be talking about. So Sauce, right, we did not really expect this dude to get traded. I will say all the Jets fans, they knew their team might get traded, but they weren't thinking that this guy's going to get traded. He just signed an extension worth $120 million. So it's kind of came out of nowhere, to be completely honest. And the good thing for the Jets is a lot of that money, they're not actually going to have to, pay really a lot. It's going to be a lot of the Colts that are going to have to pay for all that money. He had a small signing bonus, only $13.7 million, which is going to sit on their cap sheet as dead cap, which is nice. But, it doesn't happen a lot. The Colts are going to have to pay about $26 million per year for the next years, but, I might structure that contract differently. We'll see what happens. He is 25 years old, very young cornerback. Yeah, he's definitely a top 10 cornerback in the league, arguably top 5. But it's hard to see him on the Jets, so maybe he'll explode on the Colts. Maybe we'll see him actually take a leap. Well, let's go to the Jerry. Quinnen Williams was traded for a big first round pick. That's not a thing that we're gonna just slide by. That's I don't know if that was the right move by the Dallas Cowboys. Just because Quinnen Williams is a All-Pro one time in 6 years in the NFL. In the first round of a draft, you're looking for an All-Pro, obviously. So I don't know if he's worth that first-round pick. But the Cowboys needed to do something to get that defense better because their offense is legit. I mean, they're leading they're top 5 in a lot of statistical categories, points. Dak has great statistics. He's top 3 in the NFL, I know, in a lot of big stats. So it's good to have another defensive guy that will help them out. He's 27 years old. Yeah, but he's been an All-Pro once in 6 seasons. I don't know if that trade is great for the Cowboys, but I think they needed to make a move, and they did make a move. So the Jets get a lot of picks. They'll have a lot of picks. Hopefully they don't screw it up like they usually do, but we'll see what happens, I think Jakobi Meyers moving. He wanted a trade in the offseason. He did request a trade. Did not get to be traded until now. So that's good for him. But I don't know how he's going to be in Jacksonville. It's a little rocky offense. The question's been this whole year is how's Brian Thomas playing? Like, Brian Thomas is not what he was last year. I will say, definitely. And Travis Hunter's been a little injured. Brian Thomas is kind of banged up, but he just hasn't really been having a great year. De'Ami Brown has a concussion, so they definitely needed another option there. And the Jaguars, they're sneaking up there. I think they're 5-3 right now. Not a lot of teams. They haven't played great teams, but I mean, you can always sneak in the playoffs. You never know. That would be great for them. So we can see what happens with that. The Saints, they traded Rashid Shaheed to the Seahawks for 4th and 5th round selections, which is, I think that's good return for the Saints. I think it's legit return. But I don't know. I don't really know. Shaheed's always been a question because he has great weeks. He's a pretty good receiver, and I think Sam Darnold having him alongside not being able to distribute the ball to not just JSN, because at some point he's not going to be able to get the ball every time. I mean, you never know. He could prove me wrong, but for now, I think it's a great addition for the Seahawks. But I honestly think that the Jets won this trade deadline. They have all these options now. Everything's wide open. You have all these picks, so anything can really happen. I feel bad for my boy Breece Hall though. Breece Hall lost his boys. I honestly wish Breece Hall got traded too, to my Chicago Bears. Actually, not really, because Kyle Monangai had a great week. We got a pretty deep RB room with Roschon Johnson and Swift and Monangai. But I think he could have been dished to a team, but maybe they didn't get the price they wanted. Ravens, they got edge rusher Draymond James Jones from the Titans, and it's not a crazy move, to be honest. It's not one of those Sauce Gardner's getting traded moves, but it's going to help their defense out, definitely. A good edge rusher, a solid edge rusher will help that team play a little bit better because they need to win. They need to win a lot to get to the playoffs. I was a little surprised that the Patriots didn't have any moves because they're 7-2. They haven't played good teams, and I think they needed another piece, but they didn't trade. They didn't. Chicago Bears traded, but honestly, the Jets was just. I mean, it's hard for that fan base to lose Sauce Gardner, I'd say. Quinnen Williams, whatever. But you got a great return for Quinnen Williams. Think that's a great trade. The Sauce Gardner trade, honestly, think that's a great trade too. You're getting 2 firsts and you could have somebody just like Sauce. You could draft somebody just like Sauce. You got to see what you draft with those picks. So I like what the Jets are trying to do. They know their poverty, kind of just trying to ignite something because nothing works, And I mean, if you trade people away, maybe something will work. You got to try something else. So I definitely agree with that, like totally. So interesting trade deadline. We'll see what happens with all these new players coming in this next week. Most of them should be suiting up. Interesting to see that Colts defense, how they look better with Sauce, obviously, and see if the Cowboys, can do something, get some more pressure, because that line is not good enough. It's not gonna do enough. They just can't compete. With that defense, it's not possible unless you have Patrick Mahomes or the greatest offense, but you don't. So definitely need to step that defense up, and we'll see what happens. We just hit the midway of the NFL season, and it's been an interesting season. Drake May, what happened, man? He's the story of the year. He's having a great year. He's top 5 in QBR. I think he's second in passing yards. He's tied for 4th in passing touchdowns. So he's arguably a top 5 quarterback right now. He really is arguably up there. I would honestly put him at 4. I would put him at 4. I still think there's a couple guys that are just better than him. Even if they're not statistically proving it, I think they just are. Like, Josh Allen's definitely better than him. I think Stafford is better than him. I think Stafford might be the best quarterback in the league. He's got great weapons. He just always shows up. That team's always good. They always sneak their way in the playoffs. They're always a solid team, especially with Puka, the addition with Devontae Adams. Distribute the ball really well. Kyron Williams can run the ball. The defense is playing pretty good. That's a team to watch out in the playoffs 100%. People really have not really been saying, oh, the Rams are favorites for Super Bowl or anything. They haven't really talked. I haven't heard anything about that, but I think they could be a sneaky team to make it because, honestly, if you really think about the NFL, it's wide open right now. It's completely wide open. There's not one team. There's not 5 teams at the top of the tier. Every team is a question mark, basically, other than the really bad teams, I will say. Like the Colts, they just lost to the Steelers. I mean, it's interesting. It's very interesting. There's so many things to happen, and we just hit the midway of this NFL season, so we got a whole season, half the season left to play. Well, I will say it went by really quickly. Real quick, but let me know if you guys want to hear any specific topics I can cover or just anything in general. I love covering sports. I'm trying to get, bigger into this. And if you guys have anything to say or have any opinion, I'd love to hear it. I'd love to hear anybody. Just honestly, don't be afraid to DM me. Don't be afraid to, say anything. You can join the podcast. You can whatever. I'm open to everything right now. But I've been joining the radio. The radio is a lot of fun, I will say. Every Thursday with my boy Dylan Hare. It's a great time. It really is a great time. We get to talk ball. It's my favorite thing to do with another guy. It's one thing to do by myself, but when you get another guy to bounce these thoughts off you, it's great. So I've enjoyed that a lot. Yeah, but let me know if you guys want to hear anything. I'll be back next week. I'm going to start trying to do this every single week about some different topic. This topic was obviously the trade deadline. Next week could be anything. You don't know. We'll see what happens on Sunday. It's the whole beauty of it. Well, see you guys.